Chip. We've all tried to find him, and if I can help you find Chip Greenfelt, I will do that because he was an integral part of the Pretender, especially the last 2 seasons.
Chip
Greenfelt was a very important player in this, the warpness of the show. He came on early in season 2 as just an occasional, he'd show up occasionally to help us. Then in season 3, we gave him his own office because we felt like it was very important. Then by season 4, we couldn't get anything done without Chip. It was all about Chip Greenfelt.
Who?
Oh, Chip. Yeah, he is on an overall deal at Invasion, and he's also working at Fox, and he has his own suite of offices there with his own tables and showgirls.
Who told you about Chip Greenfelt?
Chip was an integral part of the staff. Chip had an office at the end of the main hallway, and Steve and Craig would often call us in the middle of a story break and say, Chip would like to meet with you, and it was understood that we all had to go down there and work with Chip. And Chip had a lot of great story ideas. Chip always took a little bit from you, though. He always, as much as you gave to him, he took from you, and it hurt a little bit, but Chip was a good friend and a fine writer.
Who was he?
Chip Greenfelt, for the fans out there, was an imaginary character that we invented in our office because the last 2 seasons of Pretender, we caught the poker bug. Poker swept the Pretender offices. I hope I don't get myself or anybody else in trouble, but who cares? So way before the big poker craze now, we started playing poker and I was, hey, this is kind of fun, And we were always very organized on the Pretender, especially the last couple of seasons. We'd have a pile of scripts there. They were written. They were ready to shoot, ready to go. We had a staff full of people that knew how to prep a show and cast and do everything. And before we knew it, we just sort of made sure that there was a block of the day where we were in Chip Greenfelt's office, do not disturb. And sure enough, the ADs, Michael Click, who may have been the one who told you that, anybody, if they had a question on the set, they would know that somebody could find us. And we kept it pretty secretive for a while there, and then word got out, and the gig was up. But it got to be pretty funny. And Chip was, as I said, he was an irreplaceable part of our staff. So,
No, nothing got run through him, but everything went through his office, right, which was where we played cards every day, which is really bad to say if the networks were to hear this, which they probably will. We didn't play all day. We would just play in the afternoons after we got our work done. No, we did. We did our work.
They are some twisted souls. I mean poker games. I mean writer meetings.
He had a way of kidnapping all of the writers on season 4. Whenever we needed to find the producers or the writers, if we could find Chip Greenfelt, we could find all of the writers. And that's because Chip Greenfelt was our poker table. And they would spend a lot of time in there, I'm sure, seriously discussing the ins and outs of the complex Pretender plot. The younger writers learned how to lose gracefully, and the older writers and producers were, how should I put it, justified in their superior position. Hours would be spent looking for Chip. Was it Cheap Chip? No, Chip Greenfelt. Yeah, Chip was very big in season 4.
When we started playing cards, it started as a lark. I mean, just like, let's play cards in the afternoon, and then it got really crazy because guys were like losing their paychecks, and we had to put limits on pots, and then suddenly it just snowballed where we were playing every day.
Flower Up was Chip's favorite storyline. He used to play that, and often a script could cost you $80 in one round, and you'd often $600-700 later, you'd be wondering what happened and why Chip stole all your story ideas. But that's okay. Sometimes you'd get back at Chip, and other times you'd go in there and just lose on purpose so that Steve and Craig would be happy and give you another script.
Never played poker with the boys. It was dangerous to play poker with the boys. They would have high rollers come in the evening, and you'd know the games were going on because you'd hear the chatter and the laughter and so on. And the smoke, of course, cigar smoke would billow throughout the building.
On the Pretender, we like to wear sort of these specialized clear vinyl jumpsuits. Tommy Thompson made us wear them. That's what our daily world was at the Pretender, was no pants and poker from 8 to 8. That's why the episodes were so good.
During that whole time, as potentially irresponsible as some of that was, the Pretender was always on budget and on time, so the studio really had no problem with it. And it kind of became a colorful little part of our show.
I could go on and on and on about how much I love these people and this character and this series. And spending the day reliving so much of it today is made me feel a little bit melancholy. You know, it was absolutely some of the best years of my life.
My favorite thing about being on location with a bunch of filmmakers is that those nights when you're like working on the ocean or you're working up in the mountains, and it's kind of that twilight hour between sunset and the crew is there and we're all kind of happy to be doing our job, and it's a beautiful sunset somewhere, and there's something like that, you know, we're all gypsies anyway, people work in this business, and when there's that kind of cohesiveness where everyone really loves being what they're doing, it's really kind of a delightful experience. Like if you're shooting at a creek and everybody's, you know, wading in the creek, or if you're at the beach and it's sunset, or you're up in the mountains and it's snowing, it's fantastic.
It really was a unique group of people, the writers and the actors and the crew too, and working with the other actors was really a wonderful, wonderful time in my career. We all got along quite well. There were a lot of laughs on the set. And it's funny, I can't be specific about it, but just that feeling of camaraderie and that feeling that we really were working with something that was a lot of fun. That was most important to me.
Because I've been on shows before where it was a job and you didn't want to see those people after work or before, and you never stayed in touch with those people. And not that they're bad people, but it was just, you didn't click like you did on this show, you know? And that's Stephen Craig, you know? I mean, those guys are just really good guys, and they set that atmosphere. So I'd say it's all due to them.
And it was wonderful, and it was creative. And that's really rare in this business, to where the egos are set aside and all that.
This was the most unique experience I've ever had as an artist or as a writer, producer, creator, whatnot, in a situation where everyone really loved the project they were doing.
It was unique. It was unusual, and I think shows like Lost are like that. I mean, every once in a while a show will come on that's, you know, the challenges are fascinating and the people really click and it's fun to do. It doesn't happen all the time.
I'd like to say to the fans that we are trying to, there may be something fairly imminent for a final movie or maybe another installment that could lead to more movies. We've never given up on that, and the timing may be right now to do something like that. So hang in there, you know, keep talking on the website, and we'll see what we have for you soon.